An outgoing Minnesota congressman says Democrats didn't have to lose the presidential election to Donald Trump.
Representative Dean Phillips bucked his own party by calling for a change at the top of the ticket and even putting up a fight in the primary. In a new interview with WCCO, he told Caroline Cummings what he believes his party could have done differently to avoid defeat.
Good morning, New Hampshire. Good morning, America.
When Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips launched a long-shot bid for the White House last fall, the campaign didn't gain ground or goodwill with his party. But he did it anyway because he felt President Joe Biden couldn't defeat Donald Trump, characterizing November's election as an emergency.
Do you feel like saying, I told you so?
It would be not human to not have some of those feelings, of course. But that's not my style, and grievance has never served me well. And to those who said things, including some elected officials right here in Minnesota, they knew the truth when they were saying those things, and they've got to live with that.
Of course, President Biden eventually did drop out, and the rest is history. But Phillips firmly believes it could have ended differently.
But one thing is absolutely true. Had we pursued a competitive primary, yes, we absolutely would have elevated a candidate better positioned to win. There's no question whatsoever.
Data from CBS News shows most counties across the country shifted towards President-elect Trump compared to 2020. Phillips notes the headwinds facing Democrats, high prices and a border crisis, but he faults Democrats for failing to address why Americans were upset about those issues. And he said Trump offered change the Democratic ticket didn't.
And rather than acknowledge it and do something about it, I'm afraid that this administration and parties seem to want to ignore it into hoping it would go away. And Americans don't let those things go away.
Phillips' presidential campaign did not catch fire here or across the country. In fact, Uncommitted actually got more votes in Minnesota on Super Tuesday than he did. But Phillips told me he thinks he or another Democrat could have beaten Trump if there was an actual primary instead of a new candidate with just 100 days to go until this election, guys. Really interesting conversation.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Sounds like it. So what's next for Dean?
So he says that he wants to get more young people involved in the process, encouraging them to participate in the process, but said he won't run for U.S. Senate or governor in 2 years. Another presidential bid, he says, is also highly unlikely, but never say never, guys. Those are his words, not mine.
Well, I think he's got so much credibility now based on foreseeing the future the way he did.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
All right.
we'll be watching.
All right. Thanks, Caroline.